First of all, immigrant communities are afraid of ICE agents right now. And we talked about this on this show. Really, any masked law enforcement, even immigrants who are here legally, and this is understandable. Look at this. In the last few weeks, we've watched the arrest of citizens, the detainment of lawmakers. Newark Mayor Ras Baraka was arrested during a protest at an ICE detention center. A charge against him has been dropped. New Jersey Congresswoman LaMonica McIver still faces an indictment over the chaotic scene that broke out there. California Senator Alex Padilla was manhandled after he tried to question the Secretary of Homeland Security. And most recently, the New York City Comptroller and mayoral candidate Brad Lander, he was arrested at Manhattan's immigration court. So we've seen all that, but this morning I want to talk about an arrest you probably have not seen. This is not of an elected official, but it's of a journalist, a source of news on immigration. And at CNN, listen, we've seen journalists taken into custody before. You'll remember my colleague Omar Jimenez was detained back in 2020 during the George Floyd protest in Minneapolis. But he was released quickly and with an apology from the governor. That has not happened here. Mario Guevara has been in custody for a week now. He's a reporter, originally from El Salvador, who has covered Georgia's Hispanic community and immigration for years. He has a work permit. And last Saturday, he was arrested as he was covering a No Kings protest near Atlanta. He was live streaming at the time. So we have video of that moment. Watch.
Officer, a member of the media, officer. Okay. Let me finish.
Police in Doraville also released body cam footage just yesterday. It shows officers rushing Guevara when he steps into the street. Watch this.
Officer, member of the media, officer. Let me finish. Hey, no camera. Milk you. Oh, hey. Hi. You take my phone, please, to my work. Don't leave there, please. Thank you, officer. Thank you.
I mean, it's obvious. He has on a vest that says press. He's holding a camera. His credentials are hanging around his neck. Guevara was charged as a pedestrian improperly entering a roadway, obstruction of law enforcement officers, and unlawful assembly. A state judge had granted him release without bail, but immigration authorities requested that he be held. And on Wednesday, ICE picked him up. Guevara now faces deportation. Guevara's attorney, Giovanni Diaz, is with us. Here in studio is Guevara's son, Oscar Guevara Saenz, who is also a photojournalist for his father's MG News site, and Alondra Madrigal, who works closely with Mario as a reporter with MG News. Welcome to you all. Alondra, I'm going to start with you because you've obviously seen the video. We've all seen it now. You were there on site after his arrest. I've read the charges. What's your reaction to what happened to your colleague?
It's so current because it's so used to for him. I'm so used to seeing him do that. He's always live streaming, raids and protests, and so for him to be in that position, I feel like I never expected it to be that way. Yeah. I would say that he has always prepared me for that moment if it were to ever come. Mm-hmm. But obviously, I never thought it, happen so soon like that.
Yeah. Oscar, to you, I mentioned that you're a colleague, but I want to speak to you in the context of being his son. And you shared with me just before we went on air that you had brain surgery a couple of years ago. And so as his son, what does this mean for you personally and also the care that you received from your father?
Well, as you said, it was almost 4 years ago. So I've pretty much recovered 80%. but still, I can't drive, so he has to take me everywhere, and for me, like, knowing that he may face deportation, or that he may get deported, just yeah, it's devastating.
I saw as we were playing the video, you kind of just dropped your head and shook your head. What was that reaction?
Basically, the cops were waiting. They were waiting for him to make a wrong move. That's literally it. And yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
And you think that they were just waiting for him to step into the street
Yes.
so they could
Yes.
take him into custody?
It's crazy how they were surrounding him, and like basically backing him up, and forced him to do that.
And so you think that what they were doing was approaching him and
Yes.
then trying to get him to step into the street so then they could take him into custody.
Definitely.
Giovanni, you're the attorney here. What's your view of the video you're watching?
Well, I mean, it's my law partner is the criminal defense specialist. I'm the immigration specialist. We've watched this video over and over and over. I mean, it's pretty clear watching it. What transpired. To see somebody detained like that, especially somebody from the media, usually members of the media, and obviously I don't want to speak for journalists in the media, but my understanding after having conversations and some experience with the media is that there's a deference given to them. And if somebody's just documenting police operations and documenting a protest, there are a lot of things that can be done before making that decision to detain and arrest somebody. I think anytime that you detain a reporter, it's concerning. And it seems like he was cooperating with the police. He was well marked. He was clearly just documenting. So I think the footage is clear that, in our position, that he did not do anything wrong, and he shouldn't have been arrested.
Giovanni, I want to make sure that we're clear about the distinction here. This was a No Kings protest, but he was not a protester. He was there covering it, as he has for many years in Georgia. What is, or at least was at this point, his status in this country?
He has the right to legally be here in the United States. He has work authorization here. There's a long procedural history of his case, but essentially he had fought for asylum many years ago, and the case was pending for a long time and litigated for a long time. The case was administratively closed because the government decided they had no interest in sending him anywhere, and they allowed him to stay here. And he's been renewing that work authorization and living here lawfully for many years. But there is a distinction. He's not yet a lawful permanent resident, and especially under this administration, if you are not a lawful permanent resident and you commit even minor traffic violations, this administration doesn't really have or use any discretion. It's a zero tolerance type of a policy, and anybody that is not a legal permanent resident commits any even minor traffic violation runs the risk of ending up in ICE custody.
Alondra, let me come to you. The Committee to Protect Journalists has condemned the arrest, calls on local officials to drop the charges. What's the impact of this arrest on the work that you do, journalists, and specifically foreign-born journalists who are covering immigration as such a hot topic in this country?
Immigration is very, very popular at the moment due to our political climate. Obviously, I feel like I have no way to structure this answer, but only that as a journalist, we are being the voice to the voiceless, and I feel like being put in that position is very unjust to what happened to my boss, Mario. Not just speaking for myself, but from many reporters, you live that fear whenever you cover any kind of, protest or, any kind of serious, war issues or something. Yeah.
Oscar, finally to you. Have you been able to speak with your father?
Yes, we speak Several times a day. My mom talks to him several times a day. I personally don't, just because I'm so busy helping Alondra and the team at MG News run the company.
How does this episode inform the work now that you do?
Now, I'm a lot more involved in MG News. I'm not just a photojournalist. I help run it, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Oscar, Alondra, and Attorney Diaz, thank you so much all for coming in and sharing the story.
Thank you.